In a shocking new twist to an already controversial saga, Prophet Shepherd Bushiri has accused General Shadrack Sibiya of threatening his life. And in a stunning move, reports indicate that Sibiya has now been placed under arrest on charges of corruption and attempted murder. This development has sent shockwaves across South Africa, reopening old wounds in one of the most dramatic legal and spiritual battles the country has witnessed in years. What began as a complex fraud and money laundering case has now spiraled into allegations of intimidation, betrayal, and power abuse at the highest levels of law enforcement. Bushiri's claims, combined with Sibiya's arrest, have reignited questions about corruption within the police service and the long-standing tension between religious influence and state power. For years, Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, known by his followers as Major One, has been a polarizing figure, loved by millions across Africa for his charismatic preaching and criticized by many for his controversial wealth and legal troubles. Bushiri's story has always been one of both admiration and suspicion. His church, the Enlightened Christian Gathering, grew into one of the largest ministries in southern Africa, drawing worshippers from as far as Botswana, Zambia, and Malawi. However, his rise to fame was shadowed by allegations of financial misconduct, and his ongoing legal battle with South African authorities has defined much of his public image in recent years. The latest allegations against General Sibiya appear to revive an old chapter that many believed was already closed. According to Bushiri, senior police officials, including Sibiya, had been involved in behind-the-scenes deals aimed at manipulating his criminal case. He claims that large sums of money were allegedly collected in the name of these officials to make his case disappear. Bushiri insists that when he refused to play along, his life was threatened. In his own words, he recalls moments where his close aides were approached by individuals claiming to represent powerful law enforcement figures who could make problems go away for a price. Bushiri's statements have not come out of nowhere. Over the years, he has maintained that there was a conspiracy to destroy him and his ministry through legal persecution. He has said repeatedly that he is not running from justice, but from injustice, pointing to what he describes as systematic harassment by corrupt officers within the South African police service. These new revelations, particularly naming a high-ranking official like General Sibiya, have added a dangerous dimension to an already complex legal and moral battle. General Shadrack Sibiya, for his part, is no stranger to controversy. Known as a seasoned investigator and former head of specialized police units, he has often been seen as a tough, no-nonsense officer who has dealt with organized crime and corruption cases throughout his career. However, his record has not been without blemish. In past years, Sibiya himself faced internal investigations over alleged misconduct, though he has often fought back and defended his name as that of a man dedicated to justice. The current charges of corruption and attempted murder are among the most serious any senior law enforcement officer could face, and if proven true, they would mark a devastating fall from grace. The arrest of Sibiya has sparked mixed reactions. Supporters of Bushiri are calling it divine justice, saying that the truth is finally coming to light and that those who use their power to oppress a man of God are being exposed. They argue that this case is not only about Bushiri, but about the broader issue of corruption within the police ranks, corruption that has allowed personal vendettas, political games, and greed to influence investigations. Critics, however, see things differently. Some believe that Bushiri is using his influence and popularity to turn public opinion against law enforcement, painting himself as a victim to deflect attention from his own unresolved criminal charges. They question the timing of these accusations and suggest that this could be a strategic move to weaken the credibility of the South African justice system in the eyes of his followers. The legal implications of these latest developments are significant. If the charges against Sibiya hold, it could open a Pandora's box of investigations into how police officials have handled high-profile cases, not only Bushiri's. It could also force authorities to confront uncomfortable truths about internal corruption and how power has been used or abused within the system. On the other hand, if Sibiya's defense successfully proves that the charges are politically or personally motivated, it could turn the spotlight back on Bushiri and his inner circle, raising questions about whether the prophet's claims are based on fact or fear. Beyond the legal battle, this story touches on something deeper, the tension between faith and power. Bushiri's case has always been about more than just money or fraud. It's about influence, control, and the uneasy relationship between religion and government authority. His supporters often see him as a spiritual target of a system that resents the reach and independence of the church. Meanwhile, critics see his ministry as a symbol of how unchecked religious power can manipulate the vulnerable and challenge state institutions. This clash between the Pope and the badge has once again come to the forefront, symbolizing a struggle that goes beyond any single man. The question now is, what happens next? Sibiya's arrest could lead to a broader investigation, exposing other figures who may have been involved in similar misconduct. It could also embolden other victims or whistleblowers to come forward with information about corruption within law enforcement. For Bushiri, this could mean a chance to vindicate his long-standing claims of persecution, but it also carries risks. Observers say that the coming months will be crucial. The investigation into Sibiya's conduct could either expose a network of corruption or collapse under the weight of political manipulation. Either way, South Africans are watching closely, and so are international observers who have followed Bushiri's story since his dramatic escape to Malawi in 2020. The outcome of this case could reshape public trust in law enforcement, redefine the image of Bushiri's ministry, and perhaps even influence how future cases involving powerful religious figures are handled. For now, one thing is clear: this is not the end of the Bushiri saga. It is another chapter in a long and complicated story that blends faith, politics, and power in a way few others have. Whether General Sibiya is truly guilty of the charges, or whether this is yet another twist in a series of calculated power plays, only time will tell. But as the drama unfolds, the public's desire for truth and justice remains as strong as ever. What do you think about this shocking development? Do you believe Prophet Bushiri's allegations against General Sibiya are genuine, or do you think this is another attempt to shape the narrative in his favor? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Your perspective matters. And if you want to stay updated with more in-depth stories, investigations, and political news like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and join the discussion. The truth is often more complicated than it seems, and together we'll continue to uncover it one story at a time.